Thank you so much for tuning in and clicking on this video. It's the latest on trend with your girl, Bianca. Guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes! Woo, woo, woo. Okay, you can hear me. Perfect. Okay, cool. Welcome. I'm going to just play this audio and we're going to jump into the video.
I think you're a demon. I think you're a straight up demon. I think you literally come in my life to attempt to it up. For what reason, I don't know. Literally, I gave you everything and you violated me on every single level. So I don't even know, like even giving you airtime right now is starting to stress me because I'm like, I don't even have to speak to you. So what is it you want to do?
You don't have to speak to me. I asked when I came on the phone, I said, what can I do?
You can't do it, Mark. You can't do anything. Everything you have done everything. What more can you do? What do you want? My soul. What do you want from me? You want my soul now? You want my sanity? What is it? You played how many girls? You stolen from how many girls? I'm hearing that you're beating up people. You don't really have a driving license. You met her parents, all this shit. I don't even know you. Whoever you presented yourself to be to me is not who I knew or who you were pretending to be. I don't know you. You are a stranger to me. I don't know you. Everything you showed me was fake. Lies and a waste of my time. You almost wasted 2 years of my life, and for what? I have nothing to show for it. Nothing to show through being with you. Nothing. You come here to waste my time. So you're still here trying to waste more of my time. What do you want?
I'm not trying to waste your time. I understand.
There is no redemption for you. Me and you will never be cool. If people ask me on you, I will always chat shit about you and say that you are not worth anything. You're not worth the time of day to me. I actually see you as an op. You are an enemy to me. I have nothing to say to you. I don't like you. I don't respect you. You are not a man to me. I'm not frightened of you anymore. If you come near my house, I will call the police and that is it. Whatever you want to say, you can talk between. All I have said is, I don't want to see you on my TV no more. I don't want to see you on YouTube. I don't want to see you on my Instagram. I don't want you to be no type of public figure. You do not deserve that kind of platform. That is the only justice I want. Other than that, your ass is not going on Shade by Rush, not going on UK Gossip. I'm not going to be out here starting like a hate campaign against you. I just don't want you in my face. I need to forget that you existed.
Thank you.
I know that you're angry. I hear what you're saying. Can you just let me speak?
Speak.
Cool. Nobody's saying that, like, there's a lot about me that's messed up. Yes, I understand that. Do you understand? And I'm going to get help for that. I didn't come in your life to waste your time. Yes, I hear what you've been from. I hear what you're saying. I hear the hatred towards me. You know, understand? I'm not here trying to ask you. I'm not trying to bend you. I'm not trying to waste you. I'm not trying to take any more of your time. I'm not trying to take your soul as you go. You understand? I understand that I caused a lot of hurt. I caused a lot of pain, confusion, a lot of lies, and a lot of other stuff. What I'm trying to say to you is this: I'm not trying to do that to you. Like, trust me, I know what this is about. All I'm trying to say to you is that I'm trying to put this right. I don't know what it's going to take me. I don't know how. You can name, if it's a money thing, name your price. I don't care what any other person has said. I don't go around having altercations and beating people up. I don't care for that. You know, there are situations that I'm not proud of, and I can say that, but there's always more to the story. But I'm not going to.
There's nothing more to the story because I have my own story, yeah. And all I know is that I was good to you, and you literally walked all over me. Moonwalked all over me.
Listen to me. You was good to me. Yes, you was nothing but honest and pure to me. And I'm not going to sit here and try and chat shit or try and bend it or make it fit my situation. Not once have I said that. You are a good person and you will make someone a very good wife. Like, just on judge that. That means nothing for me, and I know that my words mean absolutely nothing to you. I'm not here to kind of say, oh, please, Bianca, or nothing like that. I'm just here to say that, look, I am so sorry. Do you understand? And I know for a fact the sight of me is an annoyance to you. Do you understand? And trust me, there's no one that feels like shit more than me. It's not nice when everybody comes at you, but now I understand the reason why. I have an issue, I have a problem, and I'm going to sort myself out. That's it. I'm going to sort myself out, and that's owed to me. It's owed to my daughter, and like I said, I've got some deep-rooted issues that I know, and I've been avoiding for a very, very, very long time, Bianca. And what happens is that because I don't know how to accept love, that's it. I abuse the ones that love me, and I know that I didn't understand why. I don't know, but I'm going to find out, and I'm going to sort myself out. You know the extent that you've gone to try to find out and try and understand me, and the problem was never you. It was always me. Always me.
Cool. Well, I don't want your money. I'm all right, thanks. And I wish you the best of luck on your journey. Is there anything else? Cool.
All right, guys. Can you hear me okay before we go into the video? Let me know in the comment section. Also, I do want to stress or put a trigger warning on this video. Please continue to watch at your own discretion because we're going to be touching on obviously very distressing topics. And lastly, that was that review. You guys can go and watch the full interview. I'll put the link of this person's channel where Bianca did an interview. I'm a little bit late on the interview, but I thought that is important for me to put my little 2 pence, since I've been covering the story. And but you guys go ahead and watch the full interview. That was a 46-minute interview, and that was just the last bit. Before I go into everything, okay, yes, Bianca, okay, yes, Bianca, that energy is the energy that I needed. Partially, there's another part of it which we're going to get into. And today, to talk about this discussion, I have the lovely jubbly. It's gotta be done. Yes, it's gotta be done. It's here on my channel. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, we're just gonna obviously extend the conversation. Like I said, I've been covering what has been going on outside of Full Disclosure. Full Disclosure is finished now.
Done and dusted.
Out of all of the storylines that were on, this is the one that has kept on going.
Lingered.
And so it should, because obviously serious allegations has been made. I recently done a video where Mark done an interview, his first time. You guys go ahead and watch that. And also Bianca did an interview, which I watched the full interview, and this was the only part of the interview, to be honest, that kind of made me feel a bit compelled, or made me feel like, okay, like you're saying something, like you're actually telling him about himself. Personally, I wouldn't even allowed him to continue talking. Like, he was doing too much talking for me. I would have just been like, I'm going to tell you what I need to tell you, and that's it. Like, I don't need to hear you're gonna be a good wife. I don't need to hear like you've been good to me. I don't need to hear like all of these extra things. Like, I'm trying to work on things, you know. Like, this is the things that you've been accused of. Like, it's not things for you just to be like, I'm gonna work on it. What is it that you need? Like, you need, like, is it the money thing? Like, just give me a price. Like, all of these things, I don't need to hear that, okay? Because these are serious allegations which you've had an opportunity to address. And even if there were legalities in place, you still wasn't like, there are legalities in place, so I cannot even speak on it. However, I want to clear my name. Like, there wasn't none of that. There wasn't any of that, you know. So that's the only part that I would have been like, sis, like, you are letting him, you're giving him way too much leeway, like, for him to speak in the end. And you even asking him like, is anything else? What other things?
I think that's just customer service.
Like, what other thing? Even customer service, mate. Like, if somebody comes into your store and they're stealing something, that customer service is done, like, gone out the window. Security, escort them out right now. Customer service is gone out. So I don't understand, but it's got to be done. She has her own channel, guys, and she does all things health and well-being. So she's not really into all of the celebrity news and trending topics. But in terms of like the little clip that you heard, like, and the little knowledge that you have, like, what was your thoughts?
Who called who? What was it? What was
so
it?
this
like
was no, so this was like, yeah, so we don't know. So this was only like a little clip. So if you guys go and watch the full interview, they have so many different clips that they integrated in the interview of conversations between Mark and what's her name again?
Sorry.
Bianca. Hey, we've just come from another live, so please forgive. Yeah, so they're integrated like little clips which have been released. Some of them were a lot more like aggressive, some of them like were like the ones that you've heard. So yeah, you have to watch the full interview. So
like,
I don't know who
we don't
called
know who called who, and we don't know who released the information.
Oh, she obviously released the information because this was on the video, that the interview that she went on. So she obviously released it.
So my question is, what was she trying to achieve by the voice note? To say, did she want him to admit that he was wrong based on that conversation, for him to say, yeah, I've got some issues? Was that the purpose of her?
Because I think like when she went on, because obviously when she was on full disclosure, she received a lot of backlash because like of the way that people perceived her. And she obviously decided to go on this interview, which, by the way, I'm just going to say, she came on saying how, you know, Esther and Lani are like social media people. She didn't really want to like say too much out there.
Sis,
you have no, not even that. You have a whole Instagram, like doing Instagram models. So how are you not even a part of social media? That's what I don't understand. Because I even personally thought that she was just like, you know, some people don't really have social media. Like, you, sis,
whatever she was trying to achieve, in my opinion, she hasn't done that.
Yeah,
because she's gone. I mean, the voice note doesn't suggest anything positive towards her. If anything, it just highlights the fact that you're going further to release information that was privately shared.
Yes.
So she still hasn't learned from, oh, it was a joke to share your pictures. Now, oh, is this another joke to now leak private conversations?
Yeah.
Because he was clearly being vulnerable or honest to recognizing whatever the issue was, and then she was just kind of listening but not really taking it in, but kind of just recording and having the correct answers. Like, what was the purpose?
Yeah, and I think that's what Gracia says. how are, hold on, let me just read that because it links into what you're saying. How are these people chatting though they were quieter 16 months ago before the full disclosure?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, this literally happened a year ago.
Yeah.
And obviously maybe they didn't want to say anything because they didn't want to hype the show up. I mean, not hype. They didn't want to say anything because they wanted to keep hush hush. Because you know, sometimes when you film a show and then you don't say anything so that when the publicity hit, everything comes up. But they're not even doing publicity. This is like, shouldn't you have dealt with this like 12 months ago?
Yeah.
Why is it still going on as if,
and like, why are
this
you releasing these voice notes to an interview like another YouTuber? Like, shouldn't the, if you were going to release any type of evidence, shouldn't that be to the police?
Isn't it?
Like, not to like interviews that you're coming out to do, because what we're supposed to do, we're not authorities. Like, you're giving me evidence. What do you want me to do with it?
So we're the social media authority because we determine who's cancelled and who's not. I think that's her idea in her mind, because clearly she lives on social media more than she likes us to believe.
Yes.
So our opinion matters to her day to day, because if this happened 12 months ago, whatever perception people have of you and you want to be this better person, move on.
Yeah.
Let the show air, get your money and move on, because you should have been trying to clear your name 12 months ago. 24 months ago, not now that the show has aired and it's actually done and dusted.
Yeah,
we're waiting for the next one.
Yeah. which is like the true reality. Like, as much as like as much as like a lot of this shocking stuff has happened, because we didn't know about this particular person, that he was abused about that, and it's like, and you came on trying to be like, I'm not in this social media live, I'm not in this, which you clearly are.
They're exacerbating the situation by doing all these extra shenanigans.
Yeah, and releasing like all of these like voice notes. Like, okay, like, because what are we supposed to do?
So even with the thing, right, so the situation happened 12 months ago, they filmed everything and they all must have gotten along thereafter, right? Because nobody had nothing to say on social media towards each other. So now 12 months has passed, the show is aired, all of a sudden you now have fresh emotional issues with me. So what was the passion? Because even when she mentioned about the acid and everything, surely you would have done something behind the scene about it already, so that when it does come to light, you can be like, okay, I can talk about it, but I've taken actions behind that already.
Yeah.
But now it's like, for her to do that, it kind of gives him the upper hand in a way, because as bad as he may be, you know better, because you're not displaying anything that's positive.
Yeah, like the way that you're going about it and handling the situation. So during the interview, she obviously spoke about her coming onto the show full disclosure, how it happened, how we saw it happening wasn't how she was told it was going to happen. She thought she was going to come on, sit down with the ladies and almost kind of share their stories, but when she was brought on, she was kind of blindsided. She didn't like, Lani didn't know that she was going to be on there, and she was stopped. Like, she was just told, no, you're coming on like as an extra, like you're coming on like as the you know, like, what's the cherry on top, like, what's the word, like,
exactly that, cherry on top.
Yeah, that's basically what she was, and she didn't know. So the way that she kind of responded to it, which I found a little bit weird when she said that, because it's kind of like, but if in your head you were ready and open to share your story, why did you then come on and be like, I don't want to share too much? Do you get what I mean? Like, I don't want to share my story. Like, I don't really want to like talk about it, but that's what you came on the show to do, to talk about your story.
I think they're all full of crap. It's like, the more I deep the stories, I'm like, guys, are you making all this stuff up? Because there's no way, right? It's been 12 months, everybody's gone their way, I live my life, and then you all of a sudden going to release a voice note that we had private conversations about, and then you're now going to tell us and say, well, the show wasn't meant to go down that way. Well, clearly not. You're not the producer, so they're going to determine how it goes. You either agreed to it and you agreed to the chaoticness of it and you manage yourself, or you said, you know what, I don't want to be part of that drama because that was traumatic, and I'd rather have it in a setting that is more on my grounds.
Yeah. That I know I'm gonna be able to have a little bit more control
Yeah.
or know how it would go, because you knew about like Backchat, like you knew about this Trend Central or this platform. So it's not a platform that you didn't have a knowledge of, because when Cuban was on there, they were together. Like, so that was years ago, like when he was on Backchat. So it's not like she wasn't aware of like the platform and what people were saying about the platform or what the word on the street was about the platform. So she had some type of knowledge.
I think more than
of
anything,
it.
the way what I gather, what was the issue is, they're all obviously got on previous.
Mhm.
They're all obviously all made amends, but because everybody probably trying to have the upper hand on each other,
Mhm.
rather than just being like, you know what, let's work together. Everybody wanted to kind of be not in the wrong, or not admit or not take accountability, and just have that upper hand. You know, when you're in a group setting, right, and you're all friends, and someone's doing something wrong, or someone's doing some shady, like some funny business, and you kind of let it go. Let's be respectful, but you have a meeting and somebody's just kind of trying to shame the other, kind of have an upper hand. And I felt like she tried to come in there and kind of wasn't ready for the fact that, you know what, they have an upper hand than me, and I'm the I don't know.
No, I get what you mean, like, because obviously, because this happened when it happened, which was 12 I was gonna say 12 years, 12 months ago. Like you said, there would have been like between 12 months and when it was released, like what was the dynamic of the relationship? So I think that's the point that you're trying to make. And also, like, when it did happen, because like you knew of several other women like who had gone through this, and like why didn't then it blow up like in that time, like
Even
before the episodes came out?
even if she kept it hush, right? Even okay, let's say this is all real life, all real facts, everything is real, nothing is fake. The fact of the matter is, if it's real life and you know you've gone on a show for over someone that you deem disgusting, you don't want nothing, he's evil, he's nasty, right? What have you done to rectify? Because even when she has come on the show, she has almost taken his side of things, but want to now do a 360 and say, oh, actually no, you're repulsive and you're all of these things. But on the show you didn't show that.
Yeah.
You didn't
and I think that's
show
the problem that a lot of people had.
you didn't show that, you know what, I don't deal with this man anymore. What you showed is, maybe sometimes we talk every now and again, but he was bad though. But you know, it's like, why? And now you want to release voice note. We don't even know the time frame, the
That's
time
what I was
scale.
gonna say.
So we can't even what
verify, like,
we can't verify
when
that.
are these voice notes being like released. But what's quite sad about the situation is that the damage control, or like what she's doing, is kind of camouflaging the fact that she has been a victim, and it's like taking away from the fact that she is a victim of abuse. Clearly she is, and people are finding it really hard to empathize with her because of the attitude that she's carried, like the way that she's carried herself, the way, the undertones, like that we can clearly see.
But that's the thing, you can be a victim and you can be the bully as well. You can be both.
Yes,
like
100%.
you can be both, because you can be the victim and you can have, you know, nonsense, crazy things happen to you to the point where you're so thick-skinned with it that you don't even recognize that you also doing the exact same thing to the other people.
It's like compulsive lies. It's like they literally believe their truth so much, like it's like they're in their own delusion. And it's like
you can be both. And a lot of the time, from what I heard from the voice note, she was being both. She was trying to be like, okay, everything happened to me, you did this to me, but at the same time, the way she was talking to him, the way she was conducting the conversation, it was almost like she had something on him and she was trying to be this bigger person, but
like she was trying to maybe have like back control.
You're trying to have control, but that's not the way to have control, because
you're still giving, like, there's still a door open. Like there shouldn't be a door open. Like that's what I was saying. It's just like, yes, Bianca, like I was just like for the first half of that voice note, I was just like, yes, tell him. But then there was still leeway for him to speak. Why is he still speaking?
But then I feel like if you take the route of yes, tell him, you're doing the exact same thing that he's done is yes, tell you. So you're kind of butting head with the same energy. So, you know, eventually as the conversation progresses, he would probably, the energy will switch and he will do the same to her. So it's kind of like combating the same energy but trying to find a different result. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I get what you mean. And what I found a little bit concerning was because his tone, because usually from the voice notes that I have heard that's been put on social media, a lot of it has been him being quite aggressive, like shouting and really being angry. And in this last voice note, he was quite taken back, like he allowed her to speak, like he was quite apologetic, and all that is obviously an element of manipulation. Like it was him kind of like, okay, let me make you think that I'm hearing you for once, because maybe she hasn't had opportunity to like speak up to him, which is why she said in the voice notes, like, I'm not scared of you anymore.
But it doesn't sound like she's never had the opportunity to speak up to him though. I think
no,
maybe,
I mean, like from what has been put out to us.
I think they're making this whole situation just way worse than what it actually is.
Because, like, for example, like even when she was saying about because a lot of people was condemning her for leaving her son. So what she was saying, like in the interview, was she was saying, instead of her bringing him up in her space, like in the flat where anything can happen, and she would find it more harder to get rid of him, she thought, let me come down, I'm just outside of my flat. And the reason why she didn't like willingly go in the car, the reason why how she ended up going in his car is because he threatened her with acid, so she got scared.
So which is understandable.
Yeah,
there's context to everything. The thing is, with these scenarios, there's always context to everything. It's like this whole voice note, there's a backstory to how that was just a snippet of like a 2 minute, but there's a context to the whole thing.
Yeah, there's always context. And exactly, like we don't know how the whole conversation like started, or because clearly I don't think she just started like on the call shouting straight away like she did now. Like we don't know how it evolved to that moment. Like we don't know how long the conversation was. We don't know what triggered her to start shouting and like just like ripping out. So yeah,
I think the thing is, when all these things happen, everyone wants to always defend themselves, and I think sometimes you don't have to come and defend yourself immediately. Like defend yourself by actually healing and taking accountability and doing the work behind closed doors. If there were so many other women or whatever the case may be, it's like, don't insert yourself into trouble. Like I feel like she literally inserted herself into trouble. It's like you knew,
and they kind of backlash.
Yeah, it's like you knew he had a girlfriend, so you already, it's like you're what are you doing?
Yeah,
you knew he was dealing with other women, so why are you inserting yourself into this drama and you're still pursuing the drama? So it's like they have feud that hasn't ended.
Yeah, I get what you mean. What's quite crazy like about the situation, I recently watched an interview that Murad done with Madame Joyce. Very interesting, and they touched a little bit on it. And what was quite interesting, what Murad was saying, you guys could go ahead and watch that interview, was that back then when he was doing reaction to Backchat, he had multiple women in his DMs telling him about Mark and his abusive nature and things that he had done to them. So there is a lot of women that have come out. He didn't know what to do with these DMs, and a lot of the times people would send us things and it's kind of like, I don't know what to do with this information, like I don't know what to do, but he just kind of just kept it to himself, like, and he didn't actually know that it was going to blow up, or like that this full disclosure thing was going to come out. So I say that to say that there are like a lot of women like have come out and like have spoken out, and like you said about inserting themselves, like women chose not to. Like more women could be coming out, but for probably their own protection and like their own fear, like they've chosen like not to do so. And I think what was missed in this conversation and why it has been an ongoing conversation is because this is people's lives. Like a lot of women are actually living and actually have been in abusive relationships where they genuinely don't want to be with the perpetrator, like they don't want to be connected, like they genuinely want to, they want help, like they need a way out. And I think that was the perfect setting to highlight that, to highlight like, you know, what to do, like who to go to, how to handle it, and have that community of women coming together. But like you said, the way that they're going about it and doing the interviews, releasing the voice notes to us, to who, like we're not the police. Like all it's doing is just attracting more attention and engagement to your own platforms, because what people are going to be like, oh yeah, Bianca, let me go on her Instagram and follow, your numbers are just going up, let me go on Mark, follow, do you know what I mean? Like that's all it's doing. And you're not really like showing that you're actually doing something about it. And I also want to stress that it's not easy just going to the police. Like it's not easy to just like report, and it's not, it doesn't, it's not black and white, basically, is what I'm going to say. And going to the police doesn't necessarily mean that something is going to be done about it. But the point is, you've done something right. You've taken the right route.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many different avenues that you can take, like to do the right thing. You can form a women's group, women's empowerment stuff. Stop talking to women, like do so many different things, but the focus is on let me release
Social
voice
media,
notes,
yeah.
and let me, like what work have you done behind closed doors that we don't know, but you want to tell us about voice notes.
Yeah.
But yet you want to scream abuse, and you want to scream this, and you want to scream that. But I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know.
Yeah, it's true. Like a lot of women have been conditioned and threatened not to speak out, like 100%. And I think that's why it's important, like if that conversation was set right, to actually empower those women and many other women aside from this Mark situation, because many women are going through it, to actually show women the way. Like, yes, you may have been silenced, but there is another way. Like, I don't know if you guys ever you may not have, but on TikTok there was this TikTok that was quite viral of like this abusive, a lot of people, girls were doing it, where they're basically like calling the police, but they're saying as if they're making keywords, like as if they're making like a pizza order. So they'll be like 999, what's the emergency? And they'll be like, can I order a pizza? So like certain words, which is so powerful. Like I wish I could share it now, but it's so powerful. And it's just like I think the way that, like you're saying, it's being handled, it's like
a serious matter.
It's a serious matter. It's like, yes, great, you've done an interview, but then why would you go and do an interview when you're saying that you don't want to be a part of social media?
It's all passive aggressive behavior. It's still all aggressive, whichever way you want to look at it, from both sides.
Yeah, very passive. Very passive. And it's like, you know, that by you doing that, by you releasing those voice notes, it's going to kind of still trigger him, or it's going to make him react. So are you looking for a reaction from him?
Yeah, it's almost like, you know what happens when people go through trauma and abuse and all of that stuff? It's like once you have the power to now stand up to the person who's kind of abused you.
Yeah.
One of the things that one might do is, now you want to trigger that person, so you want everybody to see how bad they've been to you. And I feel like she just wants to now show like how bad he's been.
I just feel like maybe she wanted to clear her name, because like when you listen to the whole interview, like because the interviewer was quite good, I would say. Like he was asking her very direct questions, and I don't think she expected to receive the backlash that she received. And I think the purpose of her probably doing it was to clarify a lot of the things, like the questions, like the backlash, to clarify herself and kind of clear her name.
Listen,
I think that's what she was trying to do, but it's just not working out. Everything that she's doing is just going against her.
Listen, take the abuse away, take all the nastiness away. The fact is, yeah, she inserted herself in a situation she had no business in. He had a girlfriend, he was not single, and she knew he was not single. So with that being said, she was in business that she should not have been and she was not invited into their business. Like she was not. Esther didn't invite her and say, "Hey, girl, come and join our ménage à trois." Oh, he was just doing whatever, but she knew.
She was aware
It's
of
like
him.
if you're
Yeah.
aware that the guy is not single, if you're aware that that girl is not single, and you're aware that they are together, I don't care. You automatically, you no one's gonna, who's gonna have your side. You're aware of these things, but you don't stop it.
Yeah.
She didn't stop it. She continued to the point where now she's the one that's dealing with all the trauma.
Yeah.
Everyone's moved on, but she's dealing with all the trauma because she put herself in a situation she had no business in doing.
Mm.
You know someone is with someone else, leave them to handle their business and you find your own.
Yeah. I think that's the hardest part about it, because that is just point blank
It's like
truth.
even if they all argue, it's like the fact is, girl, you try to take someone else's man. On top of that, he already had another side chick, and you're trying to take him from his side chick. You're trying to be the number one main chick, but you were never the number one, and he just messed you over because you were never nothing to him.
Mm-hmm.
So accept the fact that you were never nothing to him and move your life along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
Because
it's not victim blaming. Someone says victim blaming is why women don't come forward. It's not victim blaming. If you've been listening to the whole conversation, hence why we're saying take away the abuse, take away everything.
Yeah, take away
We're
everything.
not talking about the abuse at this moment, so it's not victim blaming. We're saying take away the abuse, take away all of that. Like, the fact of the matter is, the reason why people are struggling to empathize with her and all of what she's doing is overshadowing, and I said this in the beginning, that she is and she has been a victim. Like, that is a thing on its own, and it's sad because she's not even getting the support that she should be getting, and she keeps doing these things which keeps working against her. But take away the abuse,
take away everything.
yeah, so
let's
please
come back
listen
to,
like,
yeah, take away everything. Let's come back to basic. The fact is, this woman knew that these two couples were together. They were an item, not for a few weeks, not for a few months, but for actually a couple of years. And everybody around knew that. It's like, if you imagine you go in your local town and you and your partner go on dates and you're always together, and all of a sudden she's trying to be sneaky and kind of blend in. And the whole actions that she showed from leaking the pictures, that's just like, I want to be the number one, I want to be this. But the guy already knew how to play her. That's the thing, when you insert yourself in business where you should not insert yourself in, and the guy knows how to play you, he will play you for everything that you have, and that's what he's done. He played,
yeah, and I just feel like doing all of these things, it's just giving him more and more attention.
like,
and
he
it's just
knew how to play certain females because he knew that certain females are not loyal to themselves, and she was not loyal to any other females. So even when she said, like you said, she went into the situation thinking it was going to be a different scenario. Well, why would you think that? You never played fair to begin with, so why would you expect other people to play fair if you never played fair? She never showed loyalty to none of the girls, so why would you go into a situation thinking, oh, the girls are now going to have your back? No, because they still probably have animosity lingering around because you knew about all of us, but you still staying and never left.
Yeah.
Like, the mind was never single. You knew the car that he was in was not his car. Like, he was never single.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And it's just, and part of taking accountability is actually
Just
like acknowledging
the
basic, like acknowledging like you're wrong, and like just taking it in, like, you know,
like, you're wrong from day one. Once you're wrong from day one, it's like when you start a relationship on a bad note, like, it's not going to really end well. You can be okay for a little bit, but guarantee you didn't start it off well, it's not going to end well.
Yeah. And yeah,
it's like when they say, it's like, when you think you find,
it's like how you lose him how you took him, or something like that. Whatever that saying is, you'll lose him how you if
and it's only a small percentage that make it, but the others, no, they don't make it. They don't make it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's true. But it's crazy. I mean, about Mark, because like quite a couple of you are asking like about him. I think we all know, like if you've been watching my reactions, like know where I stand with him. Like we've discussed him. I discussed his interview that he's done already. Like I was going at it. Like I was going for it. So I wanted to just touch base on the interview that Bianca has done and just follow up on that. And yeah, give my little 2 pence.
Yeah,
on
he's
that.
got issues of his own, so he needs to deal with the fact
He
that
needs to deal with his demons.
yeah.
And he just needs to be dealt with like accordingly. And I feel like everybody what they're doing, which is not a lot of them, because Esther's kind of like moved on, like she's enjoying herself. She was on holiday or whatever she's doing. Lani, she's gone back home. She's like enjoying that sunshine. And it's like they're still in this loop. And it's like they're going back and forth. He's doing an interview, Bianca's doing an interview, and it's kind of like, I don't know. I don't understand what is this.
Because they got themselves into a cycle, and he was so entangled with telling her all types of nonsense. She was probably vulnerable when they met, and he probably told her everything she wanted to hear, and she's probably thought that she was number one, but you were never number one.
And like not even that, but like even like when they did, like on top of what you're saying, like even when they did like the interview, you could see like even when Esther was talking, she's done the work because it happened, like we said, like 12 months ago. So it's like she came on healed.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like she came on healed. And then what happened is like Lani, her womb was open because of the nudes.
Yeah, that was it.
But with Bianca, it's kind of like, what are you holding on to? Like, why?
It's almost like she saw him before she went to the interview. It's like, girl, did you guys meet up before the interview? Now you feel all type of way.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I just feel like he doesn't need any platform. Like the voice notes, everything being released, it's like I listen to it and I'll be like, yeah, like it only confirms and validates my thoughts towards him even more. But it doesn't take away from still the fact that I feel a certain way about some of the things that she has done.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So it's kind of like, but what we want is we want justice. Yeah. Really and truly, we just want justice, because there's a bunch of women that have been abused by this particular person, and that is really being overshadowed by like us going over to this interview, watching what he's doing. This like, but what about the justice?
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to bring justice to these women? Like, if you really want to be like a sister, like if you really want to like be a fighter, if you really want to be like, now I'm actually a strong woman. Like, I'm actually a strong person, which is how she was saying what she was saying in the interview. Like, she's not a weak link. Like, you've got evidence. Like, you've got evidence of how he's been, what he said. Like, how about you use that to bring some type of justice?
Yeah, and it's not even that. It's like a lot of the time people just like to talk and talk and talk. It's like, do the work. Genuinely do the work and be there for people and show them, okay, I couldn't go myself and report him, but you may still can, and these are the avenues that you can do. Be that be that computer, that information, and give it to people. Each one,
because you're like you're talking from the inside, and the freshest one, isn't it? Like, because she was they've only just kind of separated.
What's it showing? Oh, is the next girl now going to start releasing voice notes? Like, do something, be active, be proactive in the justice that you want to pursue, and generally do what you need to do, not just yap.
We are just talking to, but we've not been in it.
we just we're
commentating on what has been going on. We don't have insight in Mark's life. We're not being any connection with Mark, so that's different. Yeah. So what we're saying is, rather than doing like the interviews, and I don't personally know the purpose for it, like, let's do something.
Yeah,
let's do something, and for doing something, and not just for talking sake. Like, I've put on a comment, like, anybody who wants to talk, who's got knowledge on the Clare's law, for example, that's something that was highlighted, which I think was kind of like quickly like what's the word, swept over. And I think that's a very key like piece of information. And I've asked people, like, if you want to DM me, like, let's sit on a live, let's talk, let's educate each other. Like, if you if you know a lot about the Claire's laws, like, or
Yeah.
anything, like, let's talk about it.
We
Like,
can
let's
start-
educate people.
We can start a new segment. We can start a new segment about, you know, sharing information. What's the steps on how to report?
Yeah.
You know, we can
Because
do
a
that.
lot of women probably don't. And like,
yeah, how do you go about reporting it? Who do you need to contact? Who do you need to know in your local authority that you
who
need to
can support you?
what's your support network group? We can start and share information so that when somebody comes to you, what are the signs that you need to look out for? We can everybody has the power to start
and everybody has
something
a part to play.
yeah. But we're just currently just reviewing what is hot topic, right?
Which has been.
Yeah. But in
Yeah.
the same breath, we're just saying because they're the ones sharing the information that they're sharing and is detrimental to
A lot of
obviously their
people.
own safe, and they're the ones stating that there's other people involved. You know, they're bringing other people into it. Other people are not coming forth. They're saying there's other people. So rather than just talking and being this victim, do something meaningful behind the scene, in front of the scene, however you want to choose to do it, and actually genuinely show growth and support what you've gone through.
Yeah.
Support what you've gone through.
And
that's how
also,
changes happen. Changes doesn't just happen by talking. You have to actually do the work to make the change happen.
Yeah. And also, like, sometimes it's very daunting and scary to like go to the police.
Yeah.
Because what happens, like, when you go to the police and you make your statement, like, you might be scared that, oh, what if that person finds out what they're going to do to
Yeah.
me? Like, that's another aspect. So like, even
You-
what you were saying about your support system, who is your support system
Yeah.
outside of the police? Is there anybody that you can contact to
Yeah.
ensure that there is a level of safety if you do fear for your safety?
You can just be that person that someone can call and say, "Do you know what, call me," that helpline. You can be that helpline and say, call me and I'll listen to you, and I won't, you know, I'll just be here to listen.
Mhm.
Sometimes people just need someone to listen to them. They don't want to report it, they don't want anything, they just want to blur it out, release the energy out, you know.
It's very scary. Yeah, it's very scary. 100%. It is so difficult to report to the police, and secondly, even to get a conviction, especially with abuse. I think it's very, very
it's been in the news a
difficult.
lot with they're trying to blame COVID
Backlog, yeah.
they're trying to blame the backlog. You know, it's all been all over the news, and how it takes years to actually, and it destroys people. To actually go and report something of that nature actually makes it worse for the victim, because a lot of the time
it's like you're leaving an open door constantly,
and you don't know. And sometimes it's like you said,
nothing can come off it. Like, sometimes that person might not get convicted.
Yeah, it's like the damage has been done, but you still want a conviction, and it's like you don't get it as quickly as you want to, because it's a court system. That's what I'm saying. If
it's a whole system.
Exactly. So understanding if there's someone that you can speak with, or someone that's around you that has the knowledge or is educated in that field, to actually tell you the process of what it means to go from A to B to Z, because it's a process that will take years. It doesn't mean don't report it, doesn't mean don't say anything, but know the journey and building that community where we can talk about it, we can discuss about it, you know, not just releasing information and being more detrimental, because another woman might go through it and she might not feel safe to say anything, because all this is not what the true experience is. It's almost deflating from what the true feeling is. But anyway,
yeah, it's a lot, and it's not easy, like you said, like to bring that conviction. It's not easy. Like, I mean, we don't know how much evidence, like voice notes might not be enough evidence. Maybe more women speaking out, more women coming out. I don't know, like, there's a whole lot of things, but again, these are conversations that would help somebody. Like, what do I need to do? And also, can this be prevented? Like, you know, I know sometimes with infatuation and women, it's like we can easily, like, you know, get ourselves into things, and before we know it, we're trapped into that situation. But like the Claire's law, for example, like, you can check, you know, like, how do you go about checking? Like, is it something that you have to call somebody? Is it something that you do online? Child, we don't know.
Yeah, a lot of the time we think we know everything, but we don't know.
We don't know how it works. Like, is this anonymous? Like, will my name Like, I don't know about you guys. Is anybody ever called the police? Like, you feel scared because you're just like, are you gonna recall my number? Are you gonna come up to my
I
house?
know, right?
Are you gonna like pop up?
Yeah, because nowadays everything's bugged. It's like,
Because I don't even know
you're
if you
gonna know
can.
my location. Because I'm not
Yeah,
gonna let you know my location.
exactly. Like, you're gonna know my location because I can call you back.
Yeah.
I remember I called the police one time. I was seeing something outside, and I'm one of them. Okay, I'll report you. Okay, I'm neighborhood watch. Neighborhood watch. I saw something happening outside of my house. I was just like, ding, ding, ding. Hello, police. I can see something happening, and I'm just there like, oh my god, they can see me. Like, no, he just punched him. He just punched him, and I thought that was it. Why am I getting a phone call, please, from the police? Why are you calling my phone?
I just wanted to report.
I just wanted to report.
I didn't say call me back.
I didn't say call me back. Like, we're not friends. Don't save my number. Like,
we're not trying to have weekly chats about.
We're not. We're really not. Like, I'm not here to give you updates. I just called you once. Like, you should have recorded it and attended.
Yeah.
Like, so there's so many things, and because of that, I don't want to call the police again because you're gonna call me back.
I don't want you to call me.
I don't want you to call me back. I just wanted to report. Do you get what I mean?
But that's the thing that you just don't know can happen unless you've gone through it or someone's told you.
Exactly. So yeah, there's so many questions, like so many things, and I think the good thing that can come out of this is the ongoing conversation, not necessarily just about this particular person, that particular person, because we can't judge them like that because we're not the authorities. Like, there's nothing we can do apart from being aware that this person is an abuser. Stay away from this person. Now we've got a face to that person. But we can have an ongoing conversation and save lives, because a lot of women, are sadly,
and men as well, as we're watching the Johnny Depp trial, and men as well are going through
yeah,
they're going through hurt and pain, silently.
Yeah, abusers also plant seeds about how bad calling the police is from early.
Exactly.
They shame you.
Exactly. There's so many different red flags and bits and bobs that you can look out for, but because seeds are planted so earlier on, that you just roll with it and you just move on and you don't even think.
Someone says, where is it? 0.2% rate of conviction. It's best to just seek. Let me pull it on here. It's best to just seek help. Reporting is a whole lot of trauma, and you're not allowed to start therapy till the case is over. This can take years. I didn't even know that.
Exactly. I didn't know that, and that's sad.
Why are you stopping me from starting therapy, please?
That is sad.
What about the low self-esteem of Black women in general?
Exactly. That's another thing.
That is another thing. Like, a lot of the time women probably stay in certain things is because of that low self-esteem. Like, we don't know Bianca's backstory. We don't know like what she's dealt with, what she's gone through. She's got a child. Like, we don't know her background. And she's like, we've not had insight into that because she's not allowed us to have insight into that. And that's why I feel like it's hard for a lot of people to have to empathize with her, because all we know is you came on a show, you had a bad attitude, you leaked somebody's nudes, and you didn't really seem remorseful. And what's conflicting is that you're a victim. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, yes, there is that low self-esteem in general for Black women. We deal with it on a day-to-day. Like, literally, it's something that we constantly have to fight, and that's an internal work that we have to continuously do, to not be involved in this situation. Because being low self-esteem, you stay somewhere because you don't feel like anybody else can take you. Like, you feel like only that person, like if you leave that person, you're going to be alone. Nobody wants you. You're not pretty enough. Like, you're not this, you're not that person. Sometimes men will say things like nobody will love you like I love you, like nobody would want you, like look at you, like, say a lot of things.
There's so many different things. It's like, we're gonna have to do another segment.
Oh wow, she had a child for a man doing serious time in prison. Say no more. Why do you think 18 Black women have chosen not to report the abuse experienced by Mark? I think someone touched on this earlier. I think the fear.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe they're afraid to.
And probably goes back to the comment about you can't seek therapy until after
They've been convicted.
yeah, and how long it actually takes.
And the trauma.
Yeah, because sometimes they might have gone through and you look at the time span, it's like by that time, not necessarily to say that they're going to be healed, but at least they would have just moved on with their lives.
Yeah. And the support, like I just don't think there's enough support. Like I don't know. I just don't think there's like enough support. Like it's even something that she mentioned in the interview about support. Like was she getting the support? And even after she done full disclosure, I think either Lani or Esther, they received like a text about therapy or something like that, and she didn't get nothing. Like she didn't get any aftercare or anything like that. So sorry, but if you know like you're not going to get support, and plus that person is still walking around like in their freedom, and you know how aggressive that person is, they're threatening to throw acid in your face, I think that fear will overwhelm you to the point where you probably don't want to go to the police because you don't want to aggravate them like any further. So
and I think there's a stigma around the fact that with Black women, we perceive to be strong, we perceive to be like nothing can hurt us, or we're not vulnerable, we're not this, we're not that. And it's like, no, there's this misconception that we just like, what's the word, like we can't, we don't feel no pain,
we have
so
no weak, yeah,
everything can be thrown at us and it's fine. Every type of negativity can be chucked at us and we're fine. And I think
and that's not
that's not the case. We're vulnerable.
Yeah.
We are vulnerable.
Yeah.
And we're not treated as vulnerable.
Yeah.
And when you go to the police, they don't look at a Black woman and say, oh, she's vulnerable. No.
Facts. Point blank truth. I can't speak from a Black woman. I am mixed race. It took me 3.2 years to get a conviction and hella proof.
That's exactly, I think it just goes for and sometimes your confidence that it might be perceived, oh, she's confident, she's okay because she talks this well. No, a vulnerable person is a vulnerable person. Until you learn to know someone's story, you have to go past beyond their looks, their persona, because a lot of the time, when you've been hurt or you've been through trauma, you create a persona, you create like a barricade, because you have to protect your innocence, because that's been stolen, that's been taken away from you, and a lot of the time, like 3 years to get, that's harsh. That's harsh.
Imagine like 3 years of going through that, like
that's horrible.
Living in that constant,
that's
like
horrible.
Fear and like mental like trauma, and like dealing with that.
That's really, really horrible. And that will just leave a bad taste in your soul. Like it's probably more damaging than sometimes what actually happened to you.
Yeah, because you get tired in the process. Like you get so like tired.
It's like you would have just been better off just, you know what, let me just
yeah.
Because sometimes the process of actually trying to get justice is exhausting to the point where it's more traumatizing than the actual experience.
So when like the conviction comes, or the justice comes,
not even,
it's kind of like,
okay, cool,
like it's taken everything like out of me, like everything is literally like gone out of me now.
It's kind of like you're going through double trauma or triple trauma.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. In life you have to be proactive, start getting taking the control back. I've been there and I've had no one, partially because of shame, but I now work with victims.
That's what I'm saying, because you have to be proactive, because that's how you regain your strength, that's how you regain your freedom and your happiness, because you're now the power, you're now the voice, you've gone through it. So rather than someone else taking so long to get their conviction, you can be that voice and that support and say, you know what, don't go through that route, because that's going to be a bit, our experiences in life, each one teach one. We should, because the shame that you felt, you now can say to somebody else, don't feel that shame, don't feel embarrassed. You don't have to.
There's nothing wrong that you done. Like you don't deserve that.
Exactly. You might feel it for some time, but don't let that overshadow the importance of seeking justice.
Yeah, and don't carry that shame.
But you ladies are strong.
Yeah,
You ladies are
100%.
strong.
Yeah, I've just put something on here. Contact a domestic abuse helpline local to you, and I guess you can find that on Google.
Yeah, Google, your local council. They always have so much information,
Oh man, yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a deep conversation. I mean, we're happy to continue having the discussion with you guys who have been through it, or
Yeah.
you guys who are in that criminology, in that system, who have the information. Like we can, even if it's to like save a soul, like, and it's not even to like bash anybody. It's not to like bash Bianca, because it's like, who is advising you, like who is around you, like, it's about having that support system. Like now that the story has been put out, like what are you doing after that? Like how are you handling the situation? Because that matters too. Like don't do anything that's going to overshadow like the importance of what, like the fundamental of what is actually going on, because maybe she still is needs her healing. Maybe she still hasn't gone through her healing, and there's a lot of deflating happening, like, because things that he does obviously still affects you. Like you say, we don't know how recent the voice note is. It could have been like last week, last month, early in the year. So the fact that you still had that passion, that means that there's still something that can affect you from that person, and that abuser shouldn't have any more power over you. Like we have to like I don't think depower is a word, but like take away power from these abusers is what I'm trying to say, and not carry on empowering them by giving them a voice, a platform, because we can't physically put them in jail, but there's a lot of things that we can do to make them feel like what they have done to a certain extent, if you get what I mean. We are definitely weak and vulnerable too. Beanie's healing mark was 3 years ago. Yeah, I think she does still need healing.
Yeah, I agree. We are. I think we perceived. I think any woman in general, we always seem like, oh, you're a superwoman. No, no. I can be sometimes and do everything, but no. I need my time.
Yeah, because the fact that you can be in a situation for so long and in abusive state, that person has found a way to break you down. So regardless of whether you're a black woman, like that association of strong, you shouldn't camouflage your pain with that I'm a strong black woman, like,
or any woman in general.
That should just be broken down. Yeah, because your confidence as a woman, like who you are, that's been eaten and chipped away at.
Yeah, I feel like the terminology that
it should just break. It should just go. Like,
because at the end of the day, every woman is powerful in their own right, but at the same time we all deal with weaknesses, and we all deal with sad times, and some we do all need a helping hand in just that spiritual, that healing, that let's have a conversation. That's why women, I mean, I don't want to exclude the men, because I'm sure men also have your retreat. Men have your retreat. That's why when women do these women empowerment talks and these women retreat talk, is to get back to that unity, because everyone's so connected with our stories and what we go through.
Yeah, like women connect on so many different levels. Like we all like
go through the same thing.
We all go through like the same thing in just different ways. We can connect because we're both pregnant at the same time. Do you get what I mean? Like we connect. Men can't connect on that level.
But
like
they do it in their own
way, like they're doing their own way. But it's like women, like we can connect on so many different levels. Like you're in the same birthing ward as somebody, like you connect. Like your children are born like 2 days apart, and it's like you connect. Like women being abused, like going through the same thing, like we connect. Like, so I get what you're saying. It's like we need to focus on that and how we can connect and how we can empower one another, like genuinely, like not just say it, not just do it by lip service. Because when it actually comes to it, you're not doing it evidently, because it's all lip service. Because now when it's the point where you can help another woman by speaking your truth, by standing in your truth, by like giving information that can help another woman, you're not doing it.
And we are so much more powerful when we come together.
Yeah, I agree. Enough with the strong black women. Like, we don't need it.
I know it's
Like, we literally
I
do
feel
not
like, do you
need
know what? You
it.
know, the strong black woman thing, it's like a barrier, because now when you want to go and
Yeah.
report a crime, you're a strong black woman, so you'll be fine. No, who told you I was? Because I'm clearly coming here
Because I'm not.
and I need help. So what? Stop with all of that. You're a strong black woman, and no, there's a moments for everything. Yes, I might be strong because I don't know. Give me a scenario.
I don't know, but
I
it just
don't
needs
know.
to stop.
We are women, and that's simple. You know,
Yeah, we are just women.
we do what we need to do to get by every single day,
Yeah.
because that's the strength of a woman.
Yes.
Simple.
Yes. The strength of a woman is not defined by the color of their skin. Like, you're a woman, you carry the measure of strength has been put on each and every single one of us. It's just depending on like what you do with that strength. Like, some women know how to tune into that strength more than others, and there's so many different elements to why some women are able to tune into that strength, and it may be upbringing, environment, support system, that, but we all have that measure of strength on the inside of us, like regardless of the color of our skin. Like,
Yeah.
don't look at me because I'm a black woman, you know, I'm not going to protect you because you're a black woman, you're a strong black woman, you can protect yourself. I need protection too.
Yeah.
Like, you should see me like as a flower too. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, delicate. Exactly.
Women are delicate. Yeah.
Exactly. Strength is in what you do next.
Exactly. Amen to that.
Amen to that, sister. Strength is in what you do next, and that is also a sign of your weakness, what you do and what you do not do. So yeah, guys, it's been a really good conversation, and I hope that, you know, the conversation was productive.
Yeah. Message her so we can start a little.
Yeah, guys, like, my DMs are open, as I have said. Please share, like, not just like your stories, but also like how you've come out, you know, because it's great hearing somebody's story, but I want to know, how did you come out? Like, I want to know what can help me from it. I want to know, like, I can't remember. So the person I was saying that they did the work, you know, they didn't have any support system. What did you do? What steps did you take? Like, literally, women are going through this on a day-to-day basis. I wish I had the stats in front of me, but we're not going through this on a day-to-day basis. Now, here we have in the culture, in the black community, a story that has literally like blown up, like, we're only within our remit, like within our perimeters, and I don't know if it's going to go beyond that. I don't know if any like legal action is going to be taken. We know what we want justice for it, but we need the resources, like, we need information, we need the support system, you know, and this is why we use our platform, or we should anyway, for good, you know,
Yeah.
to help people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm hearing and listening to you. I need to figure out a few things. I'll be hollering at Biami with resources. Thank you so much. And yeah, like, we'll come on the lives and we'll talk about it. And the reason why we are talking about the whole Bianca and Mark, we're using it as a point of contact for, like, not just specifically for them, but they are just an example of a lot, you know, like a wider conversation. So yeah, because I don't particularly want to keep giving this man like any more attention, to be quite honest. Literally. I really don't. But sadly, as it keeps going on
and
on, we have to keep talking about it. But it would be nice to hear like you ladies' stories, or men also, and also it would be nice to be able to have the resources to give. And it would be nice to hear like a testimony story of someone to be like, you know what, because of this, because of that, I was able to escape, you know. What's the interview? I'm so out of the loop with socials.
Don't worry
I'm
about
gonna,
it, girl.
no, I'm gonna put the
I'm out the loop.
I'm gonna be putting the link to the interview in the description once I finish the live, so you guys could go ahead and watch the full interview. And yeah, so that was ThaReview or ThaReview on that channel. You guys go ahead there. I'll put the link on there so you guys can go and watch the full interview. It wasn't on my channel. So yeah, like, thank you so much for tuning in. I don't know if you've got anything else to say.
Thank you
I probably
everyone
missed out
for
a lot of.
joining in. You guys are phenomenal.
Can you not look at Mark's brother's ex who has been going through the system because she not shed lights? We have been speaking and hopefully she will do so. So I couldn't go through all of the comments, and we were so engaged in the conversation. Why hasn't he been erased already? So much proof.
Erased, you know. Erased.
Sis.
Woo.
Lou Williamson, tell me about it. Why has it not been erased? Please. Don't be roaming the streets. Like, come on. I'll say one thing from a psychological perspective. She is still protecting him to some extent. It is very common in victims. Yeah. True. And I think like this point is important because it's facts in the sense that this is what a lot of victims, there's certain things that a lot of victims do that if we don't look at it from a compassionate place or from a place of understanding, it's easy for us to bash and drag people for it, but it's just part of the process, if you get what I mean. Like, it's part of what happens as a victim. You know, you will protect the person, you will stay silent, you will go back. Like, these are things. And one of the things that she was saying was she lost a lot of friends because her friends were sick and tired of telling her to leave, that they ended up just being like, you know what, like, if you are gonna do this, like, I cannot be your friends anymore. So those are, again, like, things that victims do, that they go back. The more you tell somebody to stay away from that person, the more you keep pushing them towards that person. So I think it's important to like see the traits and the things that a victim will do and not condemn them for it, because at that point they're gone. Do you get what I mean? Like, they're not themselves anymore.
That's what we
They've literally got like a loop around their neck. Like, they're literally controlled.
That's why we need to have more conversation, because unless you know the person and the scenario, it's hard to kind of, because one scenario doesn't fit everyone.
Yeah, exactly. One scenario doesn't fit everybody. Like, one what's the word? Like, one way might not work for somebody else. Somebody else, you'll tell them like, I'm coming to pick you up now, like, I'm removing you from that house.
They're like, yep.
Might work for somebody else. They'll lock the door. Like, you're their friend, you're their sibling, but they won't answer the door to you. So that method won't work. So not every method will work for everybody. So yeah, it doesn't matter about the race. Like, domestic violence is no respect of race, so we shouldn't see it on a race thing. I think it should just be individual, or like a person, like the person, like not the color of somebody's skin, because it can happen to anybody.
Agreed.
So yeah, I think that's really, really important. But yeah, guys, I think that's it from us, really. I hope you guys enjoyed the live. Please, reach out to me, DM me, let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much. It's got to be done. It's got to be done, guys. Go ahead and subscribe. Okay, I'm gonna say this one time only. She's actually my sis, my good sis. My good sis.
I was like, the way you went, you was like, I'm thinking, I was like, what are you talking about, girl?
This is my good sis. So you guys go ahead and support.
The way you just said, I was like, what's the announcement? I was waiting.
The announcement, yes. So most likely, I mean, you've been seeing her, if you guys have been joining in the lives, like she's been in these lives and I've been in her lives. And yeah, we just want to have a conversation. We just want to have an honest conversation, and not just for the entertainment aspect of it, like for actually like the conversation and the reality of what is going on and what we can do. Like, I'm more passionate and I love having conversations like this on my platform because that's what I'm passionate about. Like, not just like, actually, what's the outcome? Like, what can we do?
And then we can kind of, you find good people and you find people who genuinely have done the work, and you can link up.
Yeah,
and
like
do
network, like actually do
Yeah.
something. Like that's why I'm
Each
just
one
like,
teach one. Teach me what
I like
don't
that.
know.
Each one teach one.
Yeah, teach me what I don't know. I'm happy
Teach
to
me what I
learn.
don't know. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share, all that good stuff. I'm gonna be going back in the comments, leaving the link behind in the comment section, and we will speak to you guys in my next video. Bye.